Reconsidering relationship. Girlfriend sided with her dad. Am I overreacting for reconsidering my relationship when my girlfriend sided with her dad? I've been with my girlfriend for just over 3.5 years, and in that time, I've done my best to be a supportive and reliable partner. For some context, about 3 years before I met her, her dad walked out on her and her mom. He completely disappeared from her life. No contact, no effort, nothing. She hasn't seen or spoken to him since, and for all intents and purposes, he seemed uninterested in being part of her life. Recently, though, her dad decided to get back in touch with her. Out of nowhere, he's trying to re-establish contact, but with clear boundaries. He made it very obvious he has no intention of meeting me or even acknowledging my existence. He's only interested in reconnecting with her, not with the life she's built or the people who've been there for her in his absence. At first, I didn't say much about it because it's her dad, and I figured it was her decision how to handle the situation. But things escalated recently, and now I'm questioning everything about our relationship. A few days ago, we were out shopping, and my girlfriend wanted to drop something off at her dad's house. He lives just a town over, so it didn't seem like a big deal. I agreed to go with her because, despite how I feel about him, I wanted to be there for her. When we got to his place, though, her car broke down. It was one of those frustrating situations where you're stuck and scrambling to figure out what to do. Naturally, she called her dad to ask for help. She asked if he could give her a lift home, and he agreed, but with one condition: he wouldn't give me a ride. Let me repeat that. He agreed to help her, but not me. He was fine leaving me behind, ignoring the fact that I was standing there with her. At that point, I'd had enough. I told my girlfriend that we could just call a taxi instead. I wasn't about to stick around and be disrespected like that by the guy who walked out on her and her mom. This is someone who abandoned his family, and now, years later, he thinks he can just waltz back into her life while ignoring the people who've actually been there for her. It felt like a slap in the face, and I wasn't going to let it slide. But then my girlfriend said something that completely shocked me. She told me I was being too harsh. She said I was overreacting, and that she was still going to take the ride back with him. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked her if she was serious, and she said, "Yeah." So I left. I called a taxi and went home by myself. I needed time to process what just happened, but the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. When she got back, I told her we needed to have a serious conversation. I told her I needed to reconsider our relationship because I'm not going to stay with someone who treats me like this. She didn't seem to understand why I was so upset. She accused me of overreacting and said I was being unfair by punishing her. But I told her the truth. I don't want to be with someone who would side with the person who walked out on them over the person who's actually been there for them. To me, it's not just about the ride. It's about what that moment represents. Her dad abandoned her for years. He didn't care about her, her mom, or their struggles. And now he comes back into her life, sets boundaries that exclude me, and she goes along with it. That's not okay. I've been there for her through everything. I've supported her, cared for her, and tried to be the best partner I can be. And yet, in that moment she chose him. Someone who has proven time and again that he doesn't value her. Over me. Now, I'm stuck questioning everything. Am I overreacting for feeling this way? Am I wrong for reconsidering our relationship? I don't want to punish her, but I also don't want to feel like I'm second to someone who hasn't earned her trust or respect. I understand that it's complicated because he's her dad, but I feel like there should have been a line she wouldn't cross. A moment where she stood up for me in our relationship. Instead, she sided with him and dismissed how I was feeling. This has left me wondering if we're truly compatible. I love her, and I've always envisioned a future with her, but I don't know if I can get past this. It's not just about her dad. It's about how she handled the situation and how she treated me in the process. So I'm left asking, am I overreacting for being angry and hurt? Should I have handled things differently? Or do I have a right to feel the way I do? I don't want to make a decision I'll regret, but I also don't want to stay in a relationship where I feel disrespected and undervalued.